Greetings, guys. I've got 30 ladder trades to showcase for you. Been playing Ladder Season 7, as some of you might know, and I've really been enjoying it. Haven't been streaming as much lately, but just been playing the ladder either by myself or with my brother, and it's been really fun. I've been getting a lot of good stuff, and I've been able to build some really powerful characters, and it's been super fun. I want to say that if you haven't ever tried using Tradery online to make trades, I really recommend you make an account and start just trying to use it. It does add another layer of enjoyability to playing online, I think. The lobby, let's face it, doesn't have all of the tools that you would need to make it super useful and helpful. You can make lobby trades, don't get me wrong, you can. But trading on Tradery is just so much more helpful. You will get so many more high runes and items that you're looking for. And you'll start to understand what the value of things are, which is really beneficial. And honestly, the more you learn about the value of items in this game, the more you kind of enjoy it as you're item finding and farming and finding stuff. Oh my gosh, this rolled perfect. This is worth a high rune now as opposed to just an ist or a perfect amethyst, you know? So anyway, I actually have 31 trades to show here. And I also want to say one more thing, which is without the Asian market, I think D2 would be like dead right now. Most of my Tradery trades, it seems like, are from the Asia server. So shout out to all those Asian people who's still playing ladder, you know? Okay, here we go. So the first one I want to show you, I traded away a Hyperion shield. It had just 3 sockets and just for an ist rune. I held on to that for a little while. I figured that eventually someone might want to make, you know, like a dream in it. Just because the Hyperion looks cool. It has, you don't need as much strength as you do like a Monarch or something. And any opportunity to not use a Monarch shield is always taken advantage of if you're making a rune word for something else. So anyway, I held on to this. I knew I could get something for it eventually. Got an ist rune. This was a nice trade. The Mage Plate is considered by a lot of people the best base for Enigma, and I found one that rolled a perfect 261 defense. There's a lot of people in D2 that love perfect rolls. They're willing to pay more for them. So I posted this thing. It also had 3 sockets, and this thing was gone in like 3 minutes on Tradery, and I got an Ohm rune for it. The other trade I made was I found an Ethereal Warpike, no sockets, left it up for, I don't know, a few days or so. Somebody gave me an rune for it. This I traded for, this Mangsong's Lesson. It is an anti-perfect Mangsong's. It rolled, if I recall, -9, -8, -7 for the elements. And I'm using it just as a pre-buff stick for my Summoner Druid. The reason I wanted this is because it would save me a Vex rune. So if I wanted +5 to skills otherwise, I'd have to get a Heart of the Oak, which requires a 4-socket flail, you know, or Scourge or Knout or something like that. And it requires a Vex rune and a Pole rune. So this just required me a Pole rune to get this, and it's the same outcome. So that was a nice trade for me. This is a large charm that I traded for as well. It has 106 lightning damage on it. And I traded away an ist and a Shaco. I found 2 Shacos this ladder. I gave one to my brother, and then I used this one as leverage to get this charm. I'm using these on my elemental barbarian. You can check out that character right now. It's called Fire and Lightning Melee Barbarian. And that's my barbarian on ladder. I have some upgrades for him too, actually, that I should probably show off eventually. Here's another large charm I traded for. I gave away an Ohm rune for this one, which rolled 125 lightning damage. The large charms are not as desirable by most players because they don't fit, you know, with your grand charm on top of it, and you can't turn them sideways or anything like that in the stash. So the large charms tend to be cheaper, which works out like in my favor because I like to try to build these off meta characters or try some things that are slightly different from the meta, right, when I'm building characters. And a lot of times I can get a similar outcome for what I'm going for by just going for the large charms, which are cheaper. Here's a nice trade. I got a Vex rune for an ethereal 3-socketed winged helm, which had only 130 defense on it, which is not like even the highest, but that is quite a bit of defense for a winged helm. Since it's ethereal, somebody's probably going to make either a flickering flame or like a cure or something like that for their mercenary with that. Here is a sacred targe that I found. It had 4 sockets, a defense of 143, and all resistances 45. I initially listed this for a jaw rune, and I got no takers on that. So like a day went by, maybe. I decided to relist it with and asked for a burr rune instead, and it was like gone in 5 minutes. So, and it's not ethereal, this sacred targe, but it was just a regular sacred targe with a perfect roll on the resistances. The defense, I think the defense was kind of a higher end roll as well. I don't think it was perfect. I would have to double check that, but it was pretty decent on the defense as well. And 4 sockets, of course. If you have the sockets ready to go too, it seems like people are more willing to pull the trigger on a trade, you know. So that's just something else that I'd like to point out is if you're not getting a trade for something like a shield like this with 45 all res, maybe take it to Larzik, get 4 sockets, or if you want to risk it, you could roll it in the cube and get 3 or 4 sockets. 3 is also valuable, and then you could probably trade it as well quicker. Here's another one. I got 3 perfect amethysts for Tancred's Hobnails. Tancred's is a low-level set, but for some reason, at least in my experience, these boots are so hard to freaking find for Tancred's set. I've like found these, I swear, twice ever, and so they can be worth about an ist. 3 perfect amethysts though is like almost half an ist, you know. So that's what I put it up for. And eventually it did get traded like days and days and days and days and days, maybe even weeks later, but I just held on to him on a mule. Here's another one. I got a Mal rune for 10 Io runes. I just kept like collecting these, thinking I was going to make a bunch of like different helms and cure helms and stuff. And then eventually I realized I was just like, dude, I have a lot of these Io runes. I wonder what people are giving up for like a collection of these, you know, a bulk version of these. And so I went on Tradery and just saw that, hey, 10 Io runes is going for a Mal or an ist right now. So I posted it, and eventually somebody gave me one of those runes. Here's another one. Nothing too notable about this. I got 2 perfect ruby for this. I'll just say that it was a Nosferatu's Coil, which, you know, has attack speed on it. It has lifesteal. It's got mana per kill. It's got slows target and 15 strength. And mine rolled anti-perfect on the lifesteal, only 5%. So I decided to just list it for 2 perfect ruby. I wasn't using it on any of my characters anymore. And so somebody eventually went for that. Here's another one. I got a Gull rune for an Ethereal Colossus Blade. And then I also had another Ethereal Colossus Blade. And this was a lobby trade, not a tradery trade. And the lobby trade wanted a 6 open socket Ethereal Colossus Blade. And I just joined and I said, hey, I don't have the sockets, but I got the blade. And he was like, fine. And so he gave me the ist rune anyway. You know, sometimes you just have to ask or negotiate a little bit with people. And you can still get the trade through, you know. So I would encourage that. Like, hey, could you throw in maybe like a pole rune with it or something? You can ask that sometimes. And sometimes people are just like, no. And it's like, okay. So, but it doesn't hurt to ask sometimes. Here's another one. I found an ethereal suicide branch. There's really no benefit for it to being ethereal. Like, it's not like the requirements are high or anything. It's just a style points thing. But I knew that there'd be somebody out there who wants this thing ethereal, just thinks it's cool, you know? So I posted it for a Vex, and somebody, of course, wanted it, you know? You can't underestimate the value of style points in this game. All right, here's a monster one, dude. Amber Small Charm of Vita. Perfect roll on the life, perfect roll on the lightning. 20 to life, 11 lightning resistance. 4 jaw, baby. So I posted it for 5 jaw, and someone offered 4. I said, sure. This did not take that long to trade either. Maybe a day or two, you know? So I found this with my paladin here on ladder as well. He's like low 80s. I was just like playing with them, leveling a little bit, and I can't remember exactly where this dropped, but it wasn't even like a level 85 area, you know. You just and that's one of the beauties of Diablo 2 is you could be farming or just leveling a character, something drops, it rolls perfect in 2 or 3 categories, and you're just like, oh wow, this is really rare, you know. I've never found a small charm like this before. Life and lightning resistance are 2 of the most desirable things you can have on any character in the game. So yeah, it's worth 4 jaw easily. Here's another trade I made. 23 Ral runes for a low. That's a tradery post. I said 23 Ral for a low, and somebody made the trade with me. And some people might not realize either, like, really 23 Ral runes for a low rune? Like, yeah, I mean, when space is limited, because there's no rune stacking and stuff either, there's no gem and currency stacking, and when you're trying to get a hold of a bulk number of things, and like say you've got a few Ral runes in your inventory, and you're like, well, I need like 20, and then you go and try to farm them, and you're sitting there, and it's been 2 hours, and you're like, okay, I've got like 2 Ral runes here. You're gonna make the trade, you know. Here's another trade I made, a small charm with 7% magic find, no other stats, and I got an ist rune for that. Those are generally about an ist, pretty consistently. Here's another trade. I posted 21 soul runes for a Gaul, and soul runes are used in crafting blood rings most commonly. So I have some very awesome blood rings on my character right now. Actually, I think I can even show you one right now, just really quick as an example. Check out this, the order turn, 11% lifesteal. That's 2 perfect lifesteal rolls combined on this thing, and it rolled attack rating with life, strength, poison resistant, damage reduced. Super sweet, man. So yeah, that's those. You can roll some nasty blood rings that you just couldn't really get otherwise. Like, for example, here's my rare ring, 8% lifesteal, 101 attack rating, 6 strength, 20 lightning resist, 9 poison resist with poison length reduced. This is a really nice ring too, but it cannot roll 11% lifesteal. You can only get that on 1 ring with a blood ring. So that's why those are valuable, you know. Okay, so here's another great trade that I made. 23 hell runes. For some reason, I have like a lot of luck finding hell runes. Like in this game, I don't know what it is, but I find a lot of hell runes, and so I just keep them, collect them, and a lot of people like these because they want to re-roll like spirit shields and things like that for a perfect roll in all categories, and then upsell it for several high runes and stuff. Or, you know, you need these for just taking things out of sockets that you maybe want to upgrade, you know, because you can, with this in a town portal, you can remove a gem or a jewel or a rune from an item, but it destroys it. And then the other thing is that, you know, you need some hell runes and some of the rune words. So there's a lot of use in these. I even used one in a very low level item to reduce the requirements so that I could use it at on a level 7 character. So yeah, hell runes are very useful, great currency, and if you can get these in bulk, they're worth high runes. I originally posted this for 1 burr rune, but the only offer I got was 4 ohm runes, and so I decided that was great. I can use those for really nice charms. I can craft certain rune words with ohm runes, like an ice rune word needs an ohm, I believe. Does it actually? No, I'd have to double check that. Maybe Jaw Low, sorry. But like the Faith rune word needs an ohm rune. The Call to Arms rune word needs ohm runes, right? So very useful rune, the ohm rune. Here's another one. I held on to these silk weaves. I didn't need them for any of my characters this ladder, but I decided just to hold on to them. I just knew that there's got to be a sorceress out there that's going to want these eventually. So I posted them for a pull rune, and eventually, of course, a sorceress self-wielding in infinity showed up in my game and gave me a pull rune for these silk weaves. And the enhanced defense roll on these was only 180, if I recall. Here's another one that I needed for my summoning druid to get all of his skills up for the pre-buffing session. You can check out that summon druid right now on my channel. It's the most recent one, and all the music, the music that you hear in the background, that's not Diablo 2. That's all music that I recorded myself. Anyway, so Arachnid Mesh, 2 Ist rune. It popped up on Tradery. This is usually worth more than this, okay? But somebody was just trying to get rid of this thing fast for 2 Ist, and I jumped on it within like 2 seconds of this person posting this. Here's another big trade that I made. I gave away a Jaw rune for 6 Stone of Jordan. I put 2 of the Stone of Jordan on an Enchantress, and I put 2 on my Summoning Druid for pre-buffing. The other 2, I don't know what to do with yet. I might start another character that could use them, or I might trade both of them away at the same time for a Burr rune. I think that's about fair for that. I've seen some other trades that were worth that, 2 Stone of Jordan for 1 Burr. That I might just do that and get a Burr rune out of it. So yeah. Anyway, and if you think about that too, like sometimes people trade Jaw for Burr, so it'd almost like be like getting back what I traded away. You know, it was a really good deal that this person was selling these in bulk. Let's see. Okay, and here's another one, the Butcher's Pupil, a low-level unique. It was ethereal, though. And I was just like, I don't know if anyone wants this, but maybe somebody just wants to, like, PvP people or, like, PK people at super low level with an ethereal Butcher's Pupil. And so I just posted it. And someone gave me a perfect amethyst for it. And, you know, perfect amethysts are... It's one of the most common sources of currency in Diablo 2. Some of the best items in the game use them for crafting. You need them for adding sockets to weapons. If you don't want to go to Larzik and get the max sockets, but you want to risk it and roll 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, depending on the base, or 1 to 6, depending on the base. So... you know, perfect amethysts are very valuable in terms of gems. And so, yeah, I'll take a perfect amethyst for an item that I'm not going to use. Here's I got an Ist for a minus 72 Lightning Sunder. I got a Vex for a perfect defense Monarch Shield with 4 sockets. So this one I did start a new character and rushed it to Larzik. So I could guarantee 4 sockets on this thing, because I knew it was worth about a Vex. This is appealing to those people who, like I said, they want perfect stats. There are people that will pay high runes for perfect stats, right? So 148 defense is the perfect roll on a Monarch, and if you roll a perfect spirit in it, you're rich, right? You got multiple high runes coming your way for people who are willing to pay for all the perfect stats. All right, here's another one I got. This one was weird. I posted it, no sockets, 44 all-res Gilded Shield, and I just put make an offer on Tradery for it, and somebody offered me a pull rune and 10 random gems, and I was like, that's a pretty sweet deal. And he even threw in 2 perfect amethyst, which he didn't have to do. So I thought I got a really good deal off of that. You know, maybe somebody would have asked for an Ist or something like that, but I don't know. I use all those gems up for crafting and for re-rolling things and for trading, so for me that was a nice trade. Here we go, baby. Ariat's Face. I found this right outside of Lutgolin in the Rocky Waste, is it called? You know, that place that's right outside the town, right where the Stony Tombs is. And it rolled a perfect roll on the lifesteal, which is pretty much what everyone's looking for with this thing. And the enhanced defense rolled 175% enhanced defense. I incorrectly listed it for 170 enhanced defense, but anyway, I listed it for a Burr rune. A few days later, Burr rune, baby. All right, now here's a big trade too. This one, I held on. I knew this thing was worth multiple high runes. I knew it was. Because last ladder, somebody was in the lobby, was asking for this exact item and was going to pay 7 jaw runes for it. And I was just like, are you kidding me? So anyway, look at it. Artisan's Gothic Plate of the Squid. It's a Gothic plate which has a required level of 30, which is super important, over 70 life, and 3 sockets. Okay? I had it listed for 8 burr runes for like 2 months. And someone offered 6 the other day. And I was like, there it is, man. I knew it. I knew this thing is worth that. And it makes me wonder how many times this particular individual was eyeing that thing like, that's what I want. That's the thing I'm looking for my level 30 build that I'm doing, you know? So there is level 30 duels, right? And I'm imagining this is a PvP item. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe he just wanted to have like a level 30 PK, maybe player killer character. I'm not sure. You don't see a whole lot of that on like line though, where people are just PKing each other and trying to kill you and stuff. It's not like Dark Souls where it's like you can have like there's like invasions happening and it's really fun and everything. Usually people they don't really enjoy getting invaded by a PK or, you know. Anyway, check this thing out, man. 72 life. If it rolls of the whale, then I'm pretty sure the required level goes up to 37 or 47 or something like that. And if it rolls jewelers with 4 sockets, it's definitely a higher level, like 37 or 40 or somewhere around there. Maybe 37. Maybe 47. I can't remember. I keep forgetting which one it is, but it's definitely not 30. So artisans and of the squid, and you want the life to be above 70. And you've got yourself an item that is very niche. The exact right buyer has to be looking for it. I found this early, like I said, in the ladder, and I'm glad I held on to it. All right, here we go. I also recently traded for this for my enchantress, and I want to use this on something else as well to show off on the channel soon. But anyway, I got enormous robes. It rolled 3 to enchant and 14 to fire skill damage. The ones that have 15 to fire skill damage are just a lot more expensive, so I offered an Ohm rune for this, and the person obliged, so I got it. Alright, I also then just traded a Gull away for Gore Riders for my Barbarian. That made him a lot stronger than just the Goblin Toes and gave me the Run Walk, which is nice. And then I also traded away 2 Gull runes for a High Lord's Wrath, which once again made him even stronger and really pumped up his DPS. So my Barbarian is quite strong now, my Elemental Barbarian. Alright, and so let me I guess I'll just exit out of here. Back to the game. And just to close out the video, let's just enchant ourselves with the Demon Limb. And we'll go just farm something, you know, just take on like a Terror Zone or something like that. I have upgrades for this build, which I can show later, but basically just really quickly, if you look at my Fire and Lightning Barbarian on the channel, you can see what the gear is for the most part. But now he's got Gore Riders and High Lords and the Beast that I was using on my Summon Druid, and we got the gear from the Summon Druid for the Mercenary now with Convictions. So, and I have all these Lightning Charms in the inventory here, as well as some max damage attack rating charms. So, like a Hellmouth for some Fire Absorb, and you know. So anyway, that's pretty much the quick gist of it. We have Frenzy, and we have Berserk, and we have Double Swing and Whirlwind. You know, so we have a combination of attacks that we can use, and so this is kind of, you know, and this is what we're using all of our trades for, is to try to make these cool builds, you know. So I'm just gonna close, like I said, I'm just gonna close out the video with a little bit of this Terror Zone here, see if we get any interesting drops. Thanks for watching the video, dudes, and yeah, let me know if, you know, you're still playing ladder or anything. Let me know if you want me to bring back the live streams. Like I said before, just wasn't feeling it quite as much with having needed to recover from some things that I was injured from and sick from. So was, you know, not quite feeling it at this ladder as much as I was before, but have still been playing it though, you know. And so, you know, I haven't had some people say like, oh, you know, it's too bad all these builds are hero edited. And I was like, no, dude, they're not. All the builds are actually, they're actually all online. The only hero edited videos on the channel are the ones where I just make suggestions about uniques called Dear D2R Dev. That's it. That's the only ones that are hero edited because I can't show the suggestions I'd like to make otherwise, you know. So, but everything else on the channel is online. Some people think that's valuable, and I don't know if anyone else really cares about that. Like if that if that even matters to you. Let me know, I guess. Let me know if that even matters to you. Like, does it matter if the build is real, if is legit? Do you think that makes my channel better or worse, or does it is it just doesn't matter? It's a net zero, right? Net zero. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. And anyway, let's see if there's any champion packs over here. Oh, there's another gilded shield. Maybe I get another 45 all-res one, you know? No, 9. There we go. Yeah, I have noticed too, like, I have some other ideas for this build too that I want to try to pursue that I think no one's ever really used before. Here we go. We got a minion. So I'm going to show those off too. This guy's immune to cold. He just got wasted. Our Hydras now actually do chip away at their life, I've noticed, with the Conviction Aura from the Mercenary. So it is, those actually are decent now. Like, I shouldn't even say decent. They're like, you can kind of see them damage enemies now, whereas before, like, there were a lot of times where it didn't even look like their health was going down, you know? So, it was kind of like, yeah, these are just like style points, you know? But now with the Conviction Aura going, I am seeing actual like Hydras chipping away at some of these enemies, and it's kind of cool. And with the Conviction Aura as well, because it reduces enemy defense, we're hitting like very frequently with our attacks, even in the terror zones. And you just see these things proc so much more often, which is really cool. It is a little bit too bad as well that you can't, like, you know, somehow get like some kind of mastery, you know, for like a character like this, you know. Like only the sorceress can really fully take advantage of those Hydras. But you know, I'm trying my best to make them like somewhat useful on this build, and it is pretty fun to try to make them work, you know. Okay, let's use that. Use that. Sorry, I'm not like zipping through the map or anything because I'm just kind of like chatting, you know. Here's the Drifter Cavern. Battle Cry is so useful too in the terror zones. It just wipes away their defense basically, and I can actually hit them then. Like my mercenary is not here right now because I jumped over. So what I can do actually to get him is I can put on this amulet and then just teleport really quick, switch back. Yeah, I have an amulet just in the inventory, just ready to go with teleport in case I need to reposition myself or the mercenary or get through like a gap. You know, so. That was close. Alright, let's item find some of this stuff, because those are all like special dudes, you know? You got a rare ring sitting here, alright. Okay. Let's ID this ring. Here's some vampire bone gloves. Those could be crafted to blood gloves, you know? Let's see the rare ring. Pretty bad. So anyway, let's see. Why don't we craft those gloves and then we'll call the video. Let's see if I have the materials for it. So it's a Nephrune. Do I have that? I do. And a perfect ruby. And then a junk jewel. So here, take this one. And we'll get rid of these. Repairs durability, 26 poison resist, 40 to mana. That's a lot of mana on those. 15 to life, 2% life stolen per hit with 7% crushing blow. So, kind of interesting that it rolled poison resist and mana. I don't recall rolling mana on blood gloves very often. Not really sure what you'd use those for exactly. First thing that comes to mind for me is some kind of enchantress using energy shield, because you get the poison resist, the extra mana, and you get a little bit of crushing blow from it with the lifesteal. There's no increased attack speed, but maybe you don't need the attack speed if you're using like a demon machine and you're like a bow enchantress and you have max frames already. So anyway, kind of an interesting craft right there. Thanks for checking out the video. Talk to you guys later. Bye.